The WSL Championship Tour is the battle for the world title of surfing. The world's best surfers in the world's best waves. After 8 events crisscrossing the globe, the WSL Dream Tour now lands in Africa. The rhythm of this wild continent beats loud. The beauty is untamed, and the waves are absolutely perfect. With only 2 events remaining, the fight for the final 5 is on. Upsets, injury, breakthroughs, and an emotional comeback headlines Stop 9 of the Championship Tour.
What? Thiago Dora does it again. Oh, man.
And one performance will rise above all.
Toledo, you are an animal.
That was impressive.
From the world's best right-hand point break, this is the Corona Open J-Bay. Jeffreys Bay is located at the bottom of the African continent, in the turbulent waters of the South Indian Ocean, directly exposed to the raw power of Antarctic storms. When a strong southwest swell meets a stiff offshore wind, this unique coastline produces some of the longest, fastest, and best-shaped waves on the planet.
We are in South Africa. It feels like you're at the edge of the earth. It makes people who don't meditate go into deep thought. I think it's a pretty special place.
It's just beautiful. It's so clean and pristine and the nicest people, and for sure my favorite stop on tour. I just love the vibe here. It's awesome.
And it's so damn real.
When you look at the Championship Tour schedule and you see J-Bay on there, it's one of the stops that every surfer wants to come to. It is the most pristine area and also wave.
It's just one of those waves you pull up to it, and every time I see it I'm just like, it feels like I'm seeing it for the first time.
Jordy Smith, smooth as you like.
Jeffreys Bay is definitely the best right-hand point break in the world. From 3 to 10 feet, it offers up everything that you could imagine on a wave. Speed, power, flow, barrels, air sections, whatever you want, you can get it here at Jeffreys Bay.
1.5 miles of pure right-hand point break. School book, ruler edge type of wave. It's winter here, and that produces big waves, big storms.
It's freezing.
The Long Point features many surf spots and is most famous for an expert-level zone aptly named Super Tubes.
Good sections for big turns, big rail turns, laybacks, snaps, and then big barrel at the end.
When you think of J-Bay and the long right-hand walls, this wave's all about connecting and using those carves.
Poor wave.
Absolutely obliterates the pocket.
So you got to go for it. You got to push your surfing, and that's what's going to get rewarded. You know, you can't hold back on not one section and expect to get big scores.
Jeffreys Bay is a popular stop on the WSL Dream Tour, a friendly town with raw beauty and wild waves. Each year, the world's best surfers journey here to contest the annual Corona Open, an event that is a joyous celebration of the world's best wave. After a gala of local dancing and a vibrant sunset, a new day dawns here in South Africa. With near-perfect 4 to 6 foot waves peeling through the Super Tubes lineup, the women's opening round is called on.
A nice, juicy new swell in the lineup, but look at this. Tyler against Tatiana Weston-Webb and then Joanne Defay.
Tyler swinging here, powerful opening turn from her, and again driving in the pocket, committing that rail. Opening up using the full amplitude of the face of the wave. Goes up with a float maneuver to finish. Tyler Wright, 8.07.
This is the answer back from Joanne Defay. Good slash to start things off, but you can see when you compare it to what Tyler was doing, his turns are a little shorter. Tyler was coming right up into the hook, but some great surfing. Now she starts to get it going. That was a better turn. And just tags it one more time and hits the eject button as she runs out of water.
All right, here goes Tatiana Weston-Webb on the backhand. And this one will keep bending down to the inside. Little flick off the rail again from her into the lip, and a really nice combo on that end section. Goes close to excellent. 7-8-3 for Tatiana Weston-Webb. An absolute huge set coming through here. Tyler Wright having a good paddle. Look at this thing stand up for her off the bottom hard. Opens up with a big rail turn. She is going 100 miles an hour here. Big snap in the pocket from Tyler. So smooth and powerful. Just keeping this speed flowing.
Oh, no.
The mistake at the end, but nevertheless goes in the lead here.
Tyler Wright is enjoying an outstanding year. Currently ranked number 2, she has already clinched a spot in the Final 5. And with this heat win, the 2-time world champ advances to the quarterfinals.
The supreme flow of Stephanie Gilmore, a perfect pairing for the Jeffreys Bay, but I tell you what, she's got a tough heat on her hands here, taking on world number 3, Caroline Marks, the Goofy. Also Betty Lou Sakura Johnson.
Here we go, heat underway.
Betty Lou here on a good looking wave and straight on the gas. Nice turn from her, throwing plenty of spray. Massive turn for her to finish. Massive score from the panel, 8-3-3. Here goes the backhand attack, and assault really from Caroline Marks. Look at the flow she's got here. And so composed and gathered. Caroline Marks absolutely streaking through the final section. A big hanger to finish.
The 10.
The style, the timing, the technique, the power, on the money.
Massive number, 9-6-3.
It's a 10.
Lines coming in here. We need a move from Stephanie Gilmore. Absolutely driving off the bottom. That classic style could only really be one person. Really just setting up the flow here onto a nice steep inside section, just feeling this one out. Never really able to go super hard on the attack.
Well, Steph, she's going to have to regroup.
Caroline Marks already with a solid lead in this live action here. Caroline Marks on fire.
Caroline Marks is ranked number 3 in the world, and by surfing the wave of the year for the women's CT, she advances to the quarterfinals and has now clinched a spot in the Final 5.
Good night, Irene.
That's kind of what you dream of in a contest. You want to surf it out. You don't want to, like, you know, not get the right wave. So it's just really cool to, like, get the opportunity and kind of show what you really can do and what you've been working for. And yeah, it's just fun. I don't know what I'm saying. The waves are just really good.
Filipe Toledo at J-Bay. Some say he is unbeatable.
When he's on in conditions like this, he's the best surfer in the world.
The current world champ has 2 massive wins, but it's been a few years since number 77 has been celebrated. Coming up, can Filipe Toledo be defeated at J-Bay? WSL presents the Corona Open J-Bay. A stunning sunrise over the eastern cape of South Africa begins the day, and 24 men are warming up for the start of competition. At the conclusion of the championship tour's regular season, the top 5 will advance to the WSL Finals. At this point, only rankings leader Filipe Toledo has clinched a spot in the postseason.
You're watching the opening round of competition.
The men's opening round is called on, and the fight for the remaining Final 5 spots begins.
Well, look at this thing. John Florence, nice layback slash.
John Florence is committed to making the Final 5 and contesting for another world title.
John Florence and J-Bay are match made in heaven. You know, you think about the type of wave this is and the rail work that guy has been able to achieve over his career.
So John now winding up, big tail high reverse. Florence gets it. Perfect transition as he hammers the lip.
The fact that he sits at number 6, he needs to get into the quarterfinals or above to get his chances into that Final 5. So there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to win the world title. I want to be in the top 5, and I want to be there, and that's just like that competitive aspect. And I think if I have fun and I can like just relax a little bit, I think I'll have a good chance at the end of the year.
The 2-time world champ puts it all on the line and takes a dramatic opening round win. Yago Dora makes a loud statement for his Final 5 spot with the most radical wave of the event.
There's a nice tail-high version of a full rotation.
Wow.
I feel like I'm worthy for the world title, and I've been working on that for a couple of years now, and I'm trying to focus on what I have to do and trying to surf my best each heat. I'm not looking at the rankings.
Still setting that rail off the bottom, big full rotation.
Iago's one of the best. I mean, that air he did at the end of the bowl here, incredible. So you expect him to look at a Final 5 berth, but then he got the machine behind him, Gabriel Medina.
Medina swinging here, big crack of the whip for a first turn and another. Big spray from him.
The 2019 event winner is one of the best at J-Bay, and Medina enjoys a heat win.
I'm not thinking about results. I just want to have a good time, and you know, to have this kind of wave, it's amazing.
World number 2, Griff Colapinto, slicing on an outside section.
To me, this is my favorite wave on tour, so there's that feeling of when the wave's coming, you know that you're just gonna have like a 50-second, maybe minute-long ride ahead of you, so just that like excitement feeling when the wave's coming, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go.
This is the best year to date for Griffin Colapinto. He has the belief that he can win big events against the best in the world, and he proved that in his first round heat, which included Kelly Slater, and to be honest, it looked like he was surfing by himself.
He is flying down the line, massive ollie stomps that thing was huge.
Come on, that was technically perfect.
And with this opening round win, the California kid clinches a spot in the Final 5.
Your year so far, 4 finals, including a win at Surf Ranch. You have clinched your spot in the WSL Final 5. Congratulations.
Wow. I honestly have like PTSD from the last 2 years of just barely missing out by like 100 points. To do it now is freaking insane, and you know, I could go home and be a little more relaxed.
Colapinto, a San Clemente native, will contest the Rip Curl WSL Finals as the hometown favorite this September at Lower Trestles in Southern California.
My mind goes straight to being down at Lowers and having my whole family and friends there and all the support, and you know, to be going back there and having a shot for the world title, it's all I could ask for.
Filipe Toledo was victorious at Lower Trestles last year, and the Brazilian claimed his first world championship with an elated win at the WSL Final.
It's the year of Filipe Toledo, your 2022 world champ.
Back this year to defend his title, Toledo has not slowed down one bit.
And now Toledo's getting started. Jams it off the lip and has total control. 9.47. Filipe Toledo takes out the Hurley Pro here at Sunset Beach.
Well, there was a lot of pressure for Filipe to win a world title. Once he got that done, it opened up the opportunity for him to surf freely. I feel like we're gonna see the best Toledo we've ever seen in the water because of it.
Incredible transition into the barrel, are you kidding me?
Currently, the champ has his foot flat on the gas and is leading the race for the 2023 championship.
That's my goal, bring variety to this wave, make people excited about it.
Holy moly, Toledo.
We have the new champion of the Surf City El Salvador Pro, Filipe Toledo.
Toledo's flat-out approach took a detour in Brazil when the rankings leader limped off with a lurking knee injury.
Filipe went for a ride, threw caution to the wind, landed awkwardly, and now we're watching our defending world champ getting helped up the beach by security.
It's not promising for the last 2 events for this guy.
Coming into J-Bay, Filipe Toledo's knee has yet to be proven. In fact, Toledo has only surfed 3 waves since exiting Saquarema in an ambulance. Paddling out for his heat, Filipe Toledo is vulnerable, and a loss here would cede the yellow jersey to Griffin Colapinto.
Here goes the yellow jersey worn by Filipe Toledo. Big stinging snap from him, just unleashing. And again, going up into the lip, getting a little slide, and has to be patient to line up this turn, which is a precise wrapping hook in the pocket again, just forcing himself into the lip, and a strong, strong finish from him. So
in this heat, that was by far the best wave, and you know, an incredible finish down the line for Toledo.
Here goes Toledo having a swing. Big spray from him from an opening turn. There's the lip line straight down and then pumping off the bottom. Tags it again one more time. And hooking one, snapping with the lip, getting his ball going completely the other way. And for good measure, he goes in the reverse, out of the lip to finish.
You can see that Filipe isn't nursing anything with in regards to any knee injuries there.
Just stoked to come back after Rio, after the little injury. You know, it just feels good to be surfing and surfing perfect waves here at J-Bay.
Kelly Slater has spent a lifetime chasing waves, traveling, searching, and scoring the best breaks on their finest days. Coming up next, the greatest of all time makes an appearance at the Corona Open J-Bay.
Kelly off the bottom, nice big flow, well done, and a great start.
The Corona Open J-Bay is the WSL Championship Tour's exclusive event on the African continent. This annual pilgrimage to South Africa opens up a world of exploration and gives the tour a chance to step away from the ocean and experience the wilds of the land. Kelly Slater was treated to a unique feet-on-the-ground encounter at the nearby Shamwari Private Game Reserve.
The most important rule of all is to not run. Just be present in the moment, try and keep the noise to a minimum. Ready? Good, let's do it.
Getting on foot and kind of looking more at the details of what goes on out here.
He's doing what he would have been doing naturally.
My first time actually being on foot, you become part of their world.
It's cool, just a day or two out here and you learn a whole lot.
So this is a hippo track going in this direction.
The different footprints and the different dungs.
With rhino dung, you'll find it's only grass. How lucky is that? You see all of the calves? They would have been born a couple of weeks ago. We offer a wildlife safari experience. Got people coming here from all around the world just to come and experience the wild, pure nature.
It's just beautiful out here, and we got a really lucky day. It was hardly any wind. You get to see how the whole thing works and interacts. We love it.
This is definitely one of my favorite spots on the reserve. Beautiful view of all the valleys, and you can see basically all of the big five at any general game.
Last minute coming on a day like this and getting to stay here at Shamwari. Things like this are part of what makes being on tour special.
Kelly has a deep connection with Jeffreys Bay. He first surfed here in the early 1990s and was the winner of the inaugural CT event held in '96. Slater has battled world champions, surfed more events than anyone, and has 4 J-Bay contest wins to date.
Thinking about some of Kelly's highlights here at Jeffreys Bay, I mean, you can't look past the year with Andy Irons. I mean, that was in the midst of their rivalry, and Andy was in top form, and Kelly had to really work hard to get a win.
It's a 9.5.
It's an honor to have the most acclaimed competitor in the history of this distinguished event back for another year here at Jeffreys Bay.
And now the goat getting started against Jack. Kelly setting up a nice clean first turn on the open face. Little whitewater on the face of this one, but carves right through. Kelly off the bottom, nice big flow, well done, and a great start from Kelly.
One of the highlight heats in my mind was the Jack Robinson-Kelly Slater matchup. Who needs it more? They both needed it really bad, and that's what I think was so exciting about the heat.
As we see the rotator for Jack. Robinson continues to displace some water. Tidies up the finish with a closeout re-entry.
Let's see what he can do here.
And the goats looking to come back at Jack Robinson here. Surfing in the pocket, really just kind of clipping the lip, unable to really unleash, and he'll get himself inside the tube here, parks it in a really hollow section, comes out. Swinging back off the lip, how about a beautiful transition?
attacking it in the pocket and going upside down. He has this belief he's making things happen. How many buzzer beaters has he had? Perfect transition, lays down the arc again. Beautiful turns.
I love it.
Kelly Slater fails to advance out of the elimination round, yet the devoted local crowd is thrilled with his presence here at J-Bay. Carissa Moore, wearing the yellow jersey, is the women's rankings leader and has already clinched her spot in the Final 5. Carissa is a standout here at J-Bay and celebrated an epic win in stellar conditions during the 2019 event.
Layback hack to finish for Carissa Moore. That's exactly what Carissa needed right there. Carissa Moore, the champion of the Corona Open J-Bay. It's Carissa Moore. She's always the one to watch. You know, for her having this wave on her forehand, she has a lot of variety and also a lot of power that she can bring to Jeffreys Bay. But for her having the winning feeling so many times this year, it's a different type of season even compared to last year and the year before, where she's been that #1 seed. Now she's winning a lot. She knows how to close out events this year. She's surfing with a lot of confidence, and she'll be really hard to beat.
Moore finds herself in the elimination round facing Joanne Defay.
Joanne Defay here. Good size on this wave on the opening section from her. Long drawn out bottom turn. And then swooping on the rail. Into the lip hard. Gives it a good crack and recovers.
Yeah, oh no, and look, we've got a broken board.
She's got to get in right there with that. That's a lot of work.
She's pretty gassed right now. So here's Mitch just giving her a couple little pointers. Hey, you're still in this. Let's wash this off. Just take a moment.
Here she goes, Carissa Moore in the yellow jersey, swinging and wrapping, applying pressure to the rail. And then that carb kind of rips one down into the bowl from a high line. Quick snap to set up a tube, gets on the tail, not super deep, but comes out with a ton of speed, and again, wasted no time in shifting the weight. Really nice swing in the pocket from Ritz. Again, just juicing that one hard, and again, snapping the tail out. Well served.
Go.
Carissa Moore really just showing her class there.
The lip just landed on my board, and I came up and I was like, no, not again. And then I got swept all the way down, had to navigate the rocks, do the runaround, and luckily it was a nice 44-minute heat, so I had enough time.
Filipe Toledo plus J-Bay equals the world's fastest surfer on the world's best right-hand point break.
It's absolutely pumping at J-Bay right now.
Number 77 raises the bar when the Corona Open J-Bay continues. Welcome back to the Corona Open J-Bay.
Jeffreys Bay, it's one of those canvases that is inspiring.
Conditions are close to epic. 4 to 6 foot pumping super tubes with straight offshore winds. This is why the WSL makes the long voyage to the eastern Cape of South Africa.
Filipe Toledo hits the lineup wearing yellow at a playground for himself.
As we begin the round of 16, all eyes are on Filipe Toledo.
J-Bay is special. J-Bay is super special for me. You know, I always say it's my favorite spot to come back.
Toledo, two-time J-Bay champ, throws down. How about that perfect slice?
The world champ is gaining momentum as he drops a 9.63 en route to another dominating win, fortifying the argument that Toledo is unbeatable at J-Bay.
Looking at Filipe, already huge number with the 9.63, and a lot of that's got to do with the fact that he has such great versatility.
Job well done for Toledo, wins by combination and sets himself up well in the title race as he's moving on into the quarterfinals.
Congratulations, you have punched your ticket to Trestles for the 3rd straight year. You get a chance to defend your title. What does that mean?
I was waiting for that call. I knew, like, on the back of my mind, I was like, maybe sometime here, JB, it's gonna happen. But I was just like waiting for that moment and try to control that, those feelings. And it gives me more confidence to, keep doing what I'm doing, that I'm on the right way. It's all good.
The epic conditions are not a happy story for all, and several major upsets highlight the round of 16.
Griffin Colapinto taking on Ian Gentile. Steps on it quickly with that little lean back hack. Stomps it.
Desperation stations for Griffin Colapinto, still chasing an excellent number. Parks it and gets some cover.
Griffin Colapinto is outsurfed by Ian Gentile.
But you have to say hats off to Ian Gentile. Blistering start for him.
Sitting number 2 in the rankings, Colapinto exits with a subpar result.
So let's check out John Florence taking on Connor O'Leary.
When I think of this venue and who are the surfers you're going to look at, I mean, John always comes to mind.
Wow, nice big turn from John. Looks like it's going to set up for the barrel.
John in the tube, in the tube, in the tube, in the tube. John Florence, what a freak.
How about that? 9-2-3 for him.
This was some of the best surfing I'd seen from John all season long. You can tell he wanted it. Connor was battling back. He was behind pretty much the whole time after the 9-2-3. And at the very end of the heat, the last exchange, Connor puts it together.
Fin ditch on that power hack. Drills it off the top, air drop in, controls it.
In a late decision, O'Leary wins. And John Florence is handed a tough loss after a dynamic performance.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite surfers in the world, and he beat me at Bell, so I had to get him back. So yeah, stoked.
Italo Ferreira finished runner-up in the world title race last year. But right now he is down in the rankings, and needing a big result, the radical goofy foot puts it all on the line.
Italo Ferreira is known for his above-the-lip antics and his wild, floater maneuvers, and every time you see him surf, he pushes it to the limit.
That one looked like a really hard landing for Italo.
Gosh, that's nasty. Oh, man, that does not feel good.
Jordy Smith is a veteran on tour with an acclaimed resume of success and is the inspiration to a nation of South African youth.
To be here at home is extremely comforting.
Jordy, arguably one of the best to ever surf Jeffreys Bay in the modern day era.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've won, so I got to put my best foot forward, and hopefully this year's the one.
Jordy Smith is absolutely loved here in J-Bay, and as the 2-time event champion paddles out, he is the fan favorite against the defending event champion, Ethan Ewing.
Yeah, if you want more, shout out for the encore.
Guys, I mean, this is as good as it gets. The waves are absolutely firing. Jordy and Ethan, a dream heat in J-Bay to watch. Wow, looking so confident and got the whole beach behind him.
Now he starts to get that rhythm. When you think of Jordy and a wave to suit his style, it couldn't really script it any better than Jeffreys Bay, could you?
And here goes Ethan Ewing, who really cemented his name into J-Bay folklore with his win here last year. Beautiful turn from him, using the rail for so long. And he's so smooth how he connects. Just slice it all the way back into a pocket. He'll go in the tube here. He's traveling fast. He's still going. He'll come out.
This is Ethan Ewing.
Yeah, giving it a good old crack there, Ethan, in the pocket. Bang, into the lip. Just detonates it. That white water just turns to smoke as he vaporizes it into the lip with so much speed and venom.
Shout out for the encore.
And that 8-4 from Ewing, applying a bit of pressure. Jordy Smith, 2-time winner here, looking for an excellent number to keep his campaign alive. Attacks the lip there, just compresses. And he'll pull in, traveling. Jordy Smith won't find an exit there. It's Ethan Ewing who overcame Jordy Smith, the two-time winner, Ethan Ewing, the defending champ, and looking very, very good value indeed.
One more. 7.
Lakey Peterson finds herself on the way to a career comeback.
Really nice turn. Look at that with the speed and into this one, into the lip. Very well served.
Everyone is celebrating a heartfelt finish when the women's finals concludes at the Corona Open J-Bay.
And it all comes down to this final heat for the women. Lakey Peterson taking on Molly Picklum.
What a beautiful sunrise, and welcome to South Africa.
WSL presents the Corona Open J-Bay. As the sun rises over the Eastern Cape of South Africa, smaller but pristine conditions prevail here at Jeffries, and with a large crowd gathering on the point, finals day is called on. Lakey Peterson is quietly emerging as a dark horse contender. Peterson shines in the quarterfinals and defeats early round standout Caroline Marks.
Really nice turn. Look at that with the speed and into this one, into the lip. Very well served.
Nice little breakthrough moment.
Lakey continues her dream run in the semifinals with an underdog win over Tyler Wright.
One more. 7. It's been a long time. Portugal last year was the last time I was in a final, and this whole year's felt like a pretty big slump lately, so it just feels good to get back into it and, remember I can do this and I deserve to be here.
Lakey Peterson, in the midst of a remarkable career comeback, advances into the final.
It'll be Molly Picklum facing Lakey Peterson in the final.
Lakey, she surfs with Molly all the time. These two razz each other. They give each other hard times. They're having side bets going on about the finals.
Yeah, that's what we talked about all week.
Lakey Peterson was raised in Santa Barbara, California, and her love for sport was immediate.
I grew up just always going to the beach and being pretty exposed to the water and that sort of lifestyle. I was such a tomboy. People really didn't even believe I was a girl.
She was always on the boys' teams, and the boys thought she was a boy. She played tennis, she played soccer, she played basketball.
I was blown away with her athletic ability. Any sport, she's pretty much better than you.
I qualified when I was 16 for the tour. Surfing was like my own choice and felt a lot more natural, and it was a lot more me.
Lakey developed her talent surfing right-hand point breaks, and it was a natural path to excelling at J-Bay.
Growing up in Santa Barbara on Rincon Point, right-hand point breaks are definitely my strong point in my surfing. Specifically at J-Bay, I've made the final twice out here.
And absolutely bashing this wave, really surfing on edge.
So yeah, I'm hoping that this year everything falls into place.
In 2018, Lakey led the rankings and made a serious charge for the world title.
Well, it's a very solid start for the current world #1.
Since Peterson's 2019 campaign that included 2 wins, the Californian has struggled with underperforming results and a serious injury.
Just like that, Lakey officially out of the world title race.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to learn for me, and hopefully it'll just make me better. And
she struggled with a lot of self-doubt, a lot of criticism of herself. She's wondering, do I still belong here?
The Californian on an important wave, trying to keep her spot on tour.
I just never felt like I got that momentum going. It just felt like nothing was fully clicking. I was surfing too soft, kind of too hesitant. So this event's just been about letting that go and letting it rip, and yeah, I think it's starting to shine through.
And it all comes down to this final heat for the women. Lakey Peterson taking on Molly Picklum.
As Lakey prepares for her first final in over 4 years here at Jeffries, the thought of an emotional comeback begins. With thousands of fans on the beach, family members cheering, the deciding heat begins.
Here's Molly Picklum with an absolute bomb here, flying down the line. A hit off the rail, she'll come behind a section and it just blows up. Meanwhile, right behind her, here's Lakey Peterson. And hits one into the lip. Pushing hard, swinging those shoulders, getting the board the complete redirect. And then a little abbreviated tag and a decent finish from Lakey Peterson.
But on the inside, Molly's gonna pick it up. Big snap off the top right there. It looks like she's coming through to the inside. Wow, big hack.
And the momentum in this heat goes through a huge shift as Molly just got into a narrow lead. Peterson looking for 7-2-4 to go back to the lead. Look at this thing open up. Hard off the bottom, good snap into the lip.
Scores are in, last of read, it's an 8.5.
And it's gonna be Lakey Peterson, your champion here at the Corona Open J-Bay.
Just feels amazing. I can't believe it. It's been a really up and down year.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
It's hard sometimes, you know, it's like, especially when you feel like you're in a rut, like I felt I have been, it's just, you gotta keep showing up. I'm pretty proud of myself. This is my third final out here, so third time's a charm. Yeah, to share it with Molly was just incredible. She's such a freak competitive beast. Great surfer and a really great friend of mine and just a champ all around, so to share it with her was really cool.
With her second place result, Molly Picklum has clinched a spot in the Final Five, and the young Australian will surf for a world title in September. Is Filipe Toledo the greatest J-Bay competitor of this era?
Filipe Toledo looking for a third event title.
The world champ is hyping up for a historical finish when the Corona Open J-Bay continues. Filipe Toledo is the most entertaining surfer in the storyline of the Corona Open J-Bay. A true showman, Toledo is fast, radical, he flies high and disappears before your eyes.
Toledo tucks in so deep in the barrel, he'll punch his way through.
And his end-of-ride claims will put a smile on even the saltiest locals. Is Filipe Toledo the best J-Bay surfer of this era?
Filipe Toledo's in the yellow jersey, #1 in the world, and he kind of redefined how you perform at this wave, specifically at Jeffreys Bay.
The balance of radical surfing and the power approach, it's unique and it's something special to watch.
He's won back-to-back titles in the past, and there's one wave in particular that is always going to be looked at as maybe one of the best waves ever ridden in competition.
Loading up for something huge, and he's going to go to the area. Again goes, you are kidding me!
It was one of those freakish moments that people remember where they were when Filipe rode that wave first thing in the morning.
That's the way he stopped those things. He's still going.
Oh, that is unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
I feel like, you know, when you're watching somebody like Filipe Toledo, there's an entertainment level that you know you're going to get.
Stinging like a bee out there. That was beautiful work.
Thinking about Filipe and what he does differently than everybody else out here, he's faster, he's smoother. He does things that no one expects. I mean, you think about the carves that he has where he's able to change angles and he moves through it with so much speed. He comes out of maneuvers with speed. I mean, no one could do that.
The speeding and timing, I feel like it's major factors here in J-Bay.
So much damage done on this wave.
Oh man, the acceleration he carries is just unbelievable.
He's doing things that no one else can do. He's doing things that we all mind surf and imagine doing, and then going out there and executing in reality.
It is the Toledo Show.
It's almost like a cat, you know? He's always gonna land on his feet. His feet are always placed right. I mean, and then he goes in above the lip. Like, who's doing that kind of stuff? Filipe is. That's why he's so unbeatable.
As finals day for the men begins here at the Corona Open J-Bay, Filipe Toledo kicks off his campaign with this near-perfect ride.
Filipe Toledo putting on a masterclass on speed, flow, and precision here at J-Bay, looking for a third event title here in 2023. 9.63.
Just textbook surfing here from Filipe Toledo.
Toledo defeats Jack Robinson in the quarterfinals. And then, facing Kanoa Igarashi in the semis, the world champ continues his unbeatable streak.
And we'll see if we'll get Toledo to do something big here. Nice blitz off the lip with the airdrop. The absolute power gouge in the guts of the wave and a blowtail to top it off.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? Wow.
Under priority, flips everything on Igarashi and turns in an 8.5. It will be Filipe into another final at Jeffreys Bay as he takes on Ethan Ewing.
On the other side of the draw, Ethan Ewing with his sublime style is quietly advancing toward the final.
Oh, it's so perfect. He's so in sync.
I mean, this kid is just on fire, and you can see it in his surfing today.
They'll be feeling pretty good about a spot in the semi-finals.
Gabriel Medina, three-time world champ, takes on the defending event champ, Ethan Ewing. Ewing with the drive into that big first turn. And now pacing into a power gouge to shut it down.
Wow.
The final will be a clash between two guys who own 3 of the last 4 victories here at Super Tubes. Ethan Ewing redefined modern power surfing with his breakout win last year. And Filipe Toledo has inspired a generation with his 2 monumental wins.
You're just changing the way you surf this wave.
Ewing versus Toledo. 2 of the greats here at J-Bay. The men's final begins now.
We're getting started with the final. Ethan Ewing, and doing his specialty here at J-Bay, getting the first wave. Filipe ready to answer here.
Yeah, Filipe deep on the point. Filipe starts to wind up, tags the lip. Just a series of soaring, slicing maneuvers here. And number 77, doing it in style.
Does look so calm, even though he's just turning in excellent score after excellent score.
It's Filipe's time right now, and he's picked up this inside wave.
As he lays down the down carve. Packs it right there with a solid punch in the pocket, drifts the fins. 3 great moves, and Toledo still going. Cool little gouge to slide and shuts it down. Toledo, you are an animal.
To just let out the lions roar. That was insane.
Wow. 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 He absolutely tore the bag out of that thing.
He's in absolute beast mode right now. Check out that number, a 9.93. It is Filipe's day, officially the champion of the Corona Open J-Bay, now for the 3rd time of his career.
Well, he's alien, just like we used to say about Kelly Slater. This is the new guy. Filipe literally is going to be so difficult to beat this year, especially if he holds the yellow jersey going into trestles.
I love this place. I love the vibes here. Coming back from an injury. You know, I clinched the finals 5, and now going into Tahiti with the win and the yellow jersey. You know, it's just extra special. You know, I'll be doing whatever I can to secure the yellow jersey for trestles, and I'll see you guys at the end of the year.
It is official. Filipe Toledo is unbeatable at J-Bay. The world champ wins his 3rd Corona Open title. With his 2nd place result, Ethan Ewing has clinched a place in the final 5. Toledo, Ewing, and Colapinto have now qualified for the Rip Curl WSL Finals. Only 1 stop remains before the WSL postseason begins. The Championship Tour's regular season culminates at the end of the road, and the most dangerous event of the year will decide the Final 5. We will see you next in the South Pacific for the Shiseido Tahiti Pro. Thanks for watching WSL Presents.